Well, hey there, YouTube. How you doing today? Robert Summers here, and I want to first off thank you for coming to our channel, for subscribing, viewing, sharing. We definitely appreciate that. This video is actually at the request of numerous people that are in dire straits. They're in a real bad situation. They are in a relationship with a narcissist. They are in a relationship with someone that is being controlled by a demonic spirit of Jezebel. And the situation is so bad that the abuse has gone beyond psychological or emotional abuse and is now become either the threat of physical abuse or actual physical abuse taking place. So I wanted to do a video, and actually it's going to take probably a couple at least videos of having an escape plan or the escape plan from a narcissist. And of course, every situation is different. I want to be real clear on this. Also, I am not giving any, nor do I want to represent or attempt to represent any type of legal advice given. I am not qualified for that at all. However, I do want to give you some guidelines on how to escape from a narcissist when you're in a very, very bad position. Specifically, we're talking about physical abuse or the threat of physical abuse and harm. Now, that being said, there's narcissism or narcissistic people that affect people such as yourself, that it's emotional and psychological, and that will wear on you and can ultimately bring you to a place of destruction. And in cases like that, I do believe that it warrants separation if there's no change from the person that is bound by this insidious spirit. Okay? No one, let me be real clear here, no one should ever subject themselves to abuse of any type. No one should be dominated by another person. No other person should control, manipulate, intimidate, and dominate any other person. And if you're in a relationship or if you're in a situation such as that, that needs to be dealt with. That needs to be broke. There needs to be a separation immediately to let that person know this is not going to be tolerated. Hear me very clearly. You cannot tolerate Jezebel. You cannot tolerate a narcissist. Enough is enough. Abuse of any sort, specifically though, physical or the threat of violence or the threat of physical harm, injury to you. I want to be real clear. At the first sign of that, you must leave. You must depart. So that means that if you are threatened by your husband or your wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, doesn't matter. If you are threatened, harm, if someone threatens to kill you, if someone threatens to, sabotage your car with, things, maybe they say something like they're going to cut your brake lines or whatever it may be, or threaten in a manner where, they get all up on you and they talk very loud and it's intimidating and threatening. In cases like that, I want to be real clear. I can't go through the laundry list of those. But in cases like that, you must immediately come up with a plan to escape. You are in a dangerous place, and God does not want you in that dangerous place. Okay? This does not mean that when you leave or when you escape that healing and deliverance can't take place in everyone. That is the goal. Complete restoration is the goal of any quality deliverance ministry. Howbeit, sometimes that's not the case. But again, you must leave. So in a case like that, there's a lot to talk about. Like I said, this will be just the first video. in that. And so not all your questions will be answered. Probably not going to be answered anyways. But let's give it a go and begin to get some of you all some help. So, okay, so you perhaps have experienced some physical violence. Perhaps there's been the threat of violence against you, intimidation, whatever it may be, and you are in fear of your life. You are in fear of if you have children, your children's lives. So what do? Well, let's plan for this. The first thing you need to do is you're going to have a plan, okay? And one of the first things you do, let's go through some of this stuff. One of the first things you need to do in your planning is, at the very least, you should have enough money for a taxi or an Uber or, something, bus, whatever it may be, train, airplane, to take you to a safe place. So you need to begin to collect some funds and put those funds off to the side, not letting the narcissist know that you have these funds, so that you can get out of there. You need to also, because you're going to have money. Also, as far as beginning to get your money together, you're going to have enough money to pay for at least one night hotel stay, if not several nights. Okay? You're going to have that money available to you. Okay? Also, here's something else you need to do. You need to have an extra set of keys for your car and your house. Okay? So if there's only one set, you're going to have to go and, undercover, as it were, okay, go get an extra set of keys for you. Those are just for you, and put them up in a safe place. I recommend having a bag or a box or something that you can grab real fast when it's time to escape. Okay? Get yourself a piece of paper, notepad, whatever it may be. It can be electronic, device. I recommend paper. Let's go the old-fashioned way here, because a narcissist is going to do everything he or she possibly can to sabotage you and hinder you, okay, and control you. So get a piece of paper, get a list of telephone numbers that you need to call in case of an emergency, that when something goes down, when when you're getting ready to leave, that you already have planned. You don't just leave and say, okay, now what do I do? No, you have a plan, okay? Planning is the key here. You're going to have a plan, and you're going to have phone numbers of important places, shelters, ministries, churches, government agencies, police numbers, ambulance. You need to have all of your ducks in a row, because you're taking charge over your life, okay? Also, you want to have some changes of clothes. You want to have your clothes. I recommend, if it's available to you, they have these things where you put your clothes in a plastic bag, and there's like this, you can buy it I've seen these things at the dollar store. It has a suction thing, and it shrink wraps, as it were, your clothes. Great thing to have for you as well as your children. Begin to get some clothes, at least one extra pair of clothes, okay? The essentials, your underwear, your socks, okay? Things of that nature, okay? And put that in the bag. Or if you have a trusted friend or family member, go ahead and begin to take these things to their house, so you have a place of storage that you can get to very, very safely, okay? If you have a pet, let's just talk about some practical things. You have a pet that you love, maybe cat or dog or whatever. Make arrangements for that pet to be able to go to that trusted friend or family member quickly. In an emergency situation where you're bugging out, you're getting out from the narcissist, you need to take care of your pet as well, because the narcissists, in their revenge and retaliation, will actually look to harm, unfortunately, that insidious spirit will look to harm a pet, and you want to make certain that you address that and plan for that as well. I always recommend that you begin to get your important paperwork and documentation together. Okay, don't leave and not have this stuff, because you're going to need it. Birth certificate, car registration, your license number. Get information on your significant other, your spouse, So, ladies, get your husband's driver's license number as well. Make sure you have your Social Security information, Social Security card, have your husband's or spouse's Social Security number, plate numbers, all of your cars, all your vehicles. Write all this stuff down. You can do this now, okay, because you're preparing to get out from this abuse. Have plate numbers, car titles, all, like I said, all your registration, insurance, of course, your insurance information, loan papers, bank account information, okay, the physical bank account information, statements, okay, passport, if you have one, make sure you have your passport, anything else that you need, okay, if there's welfare papers or, anything else, any type of legal documentation that has taken place over time, perhaps there's been restraining orders, perhaps there have been police reports, have all of that stuff in a folder and get that stuff right now, get that to a trusted person's home, or put that in this bag that you can hide somewhere and ultimately grab quickly so you can get to a place of safety. In your vehicle, make certain that you have gas in your vehicle. Also, I recommend keeping a can of gas, an extra spare can of gas, maybe like a gallon or two, and put that in the trunk, okay? Because you may not always be in a situation where you have a full tank of gas, okay? But you want to make certain that you have availability to where if something happens, you're able to put some gas in your car to move on at least 20, 30 miles away, and then ultimately you can get some gas at a gas station and figure it out, okay? Decide who your trusted family or friend members are that you can leave some of this stuff at, okay? Be careful in this case who you talk to, okay? But let them know that you are planning this departure, that you are planning to leave because there is abuse taking place, okay? You want to, as you're planning, by the way, you want to take as many personal belongings without, having the narc becoming suspicious. You want to take as many of your personal belongings out of the house beforehand, okay? Especially if there's perhaps some sentimental things that you treasure. You want to, inconspicuously get those things over to a family or trusted friend, things that have monetary value, to them. You want to get over there. Maybe you have a collection of coins or what have you, some jewelry. Get that over there. You want to do that now, okay? Get that out of the house of the narcissist, okay? You also want to talk to the police beforehand and find out that should you choose to go back after you leave to get some of your personal belongings, to see if perhaps they would meet you at the house, okay, to get those things while they're watching, and then you could take some of those things out and do it in a environment like that. You don't want to go back. Once you leave, you cannot and you will not go back to get something. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter what's said or what's done. You do not want to go back. Now, you also want to have your credit card information in order. You want to have your credit cards ready. You want to have, if you have, you just want to have all that together. You want to have, I'd recommend having your own personal credit card that only you know about, okay? And use that, because if you use a joint account, then there are ways to actually track where you are, and you don't want that, okay? You want to stay away from using, going online and using, like, let's say you're a member of a Marriott or a Hilton or something like that, and you have vacation rewards. You want to stay away from using those, because anything that you do as it pertains to that chain is going to show up in the portfolio, and the narc is going to see, at the very least, the general vicinity that you are at. So then what you also want to do is you want to begin to rehearse in your mind, even some physical things. Begin to rehearse the departure, or rehearse for the departure, okay? You want to, again, never tell your partner, your spouse, significant other, the one that you're in a relationship with, never tell them that you are going to leave. Don't say, I'm leaving you. Okay, now you've been threatened, you've been physically abused. Do not say, I am going to leave you. You're going to have to plan for it, rehearse it, and then execute it. Okay? Because you want to protect yourself from further harm, and you certainly want to protect your children, because the children, if there are children involved, the children or child will be used as a tool of or a form of manipulation, okay, and control. So you don't want to show your hand in this thing, okay? You also do not want to discuss your emergency plan or leaving with your children, okay? You don't want to share with that, because they may tell, in this case, they may tell dad, they may tell the narcissist. Remember, the narcissist will use and manipulate children just as much as he's using to manipulate you. So you don't want to do that, okay? Because kids are kids, and they're innocent, and they love mom, they love dad. They may say something, and you do not want your hand, to be shown in this case, okay? You also want to plan and rehearse leaving when the narc is not there. You have to anticipate violence or potential violence. You have to anticipate confrontation. So what you want to do is you want to plan and execute your leaving when the narcissist is not there, when he or she is at work, maybe went to the health club, went out with the boys, whatever, went out of town, whatever it may be. You want to make certain that you slip away while they're away, okay? You also want to begin to create some believable reasons for you to leave during the day or night, okay? Whatever it may be. Well, I have to go wash the clothes, okay? Nothing wrong with that. Well, I have to go and, pay the cable bill. Something, and you're going to use that as a time frame that you can take these belongings that you have over to a trusted friend or family member, or begin to do some other things, go to the bank, get some information, what have you. That is really your excuse for doing some of the things that you have to do. Again, I want to be clear, this is in a situation that is very, very bad. So you have to be very, very wise in what you do. Okay, so you want to have these reasons, okay, for doing some of these other things. Okay, whether it's night or whether it's day. Okay, if you do have children, you don't want to tell your children that you're going to leave. What you want to do is you want to begin to prepare your children. You want to talk to your children about the importance of being safe at all times. You want to talk to your children that, you as a mother and, as a family, you need to be safe, so that they have an understanding that when this does take place, why it's taking place, that it's for your safety as well as theirs. You also want to, when you're ready to execute this plan, you want to make certain that you park your car in a manner that you can go out quickly. Again, these are practical things. So you want to back into the driveway, okay? And then you want to, take off going front. You don't want to have to back out, because you're going to do this very, very quick. You're going to have all your stuff together. You're going to, don't put things in the car beforehand, because the narc may see that. You want to have yourself what we typically call a bug out bag, or a bag where, it's like, okay, everything's there. Grab it and gone. Grab it, gone. Get the kids, grab it, gone. Everything's already prepared. All your prep work is done. You're using wisdom in this case, okay? Then as you are gone, one of the things that you have to do is you have to decide, is this thing permanent, or is this thing, temporary, okay? Sometimes it's temporary, sometimes it's more permanent, and that we'll discuss, later on. But depending on that, it will also have a lot to do with what you take, what you don't take, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, once you leave, where do you go, okay? you want to plan that out. You want to plan, where am I going? Now, if it's just a night and you want to check into a hotel, you have a hotel, where some location 50, 100 miles away, whatever it may be, then that's fine. That's a temporary thing, but you may need to plan a little bit more than 1 day or 2 days. So you want to begin to look at some places where to stay. Could be emergency, shelter homes. I know some of them exist. There's not necessarily a lot of them. Some of them are very full. So you have to find out, is there capacity for you and your children, if you have them, to come into that place? Okay. There is emergency shelter for battered women. Okay. Women that are in positions that of being threatened. Okay. So you want to check all those things out. Call them, get the address, have all that information ready for that. Okay. You can go to the police department to find out that information, or the community health center in your particular area to find out more. Again, hotels, motels, different places, any type of safe homes that exist. These may be private residences that people have their own internal, ministries that they have set up for situations like this, kind of like a temporary place that you can say just for a few nights, perhaps, just so you can get your wheels in motion and execute your plan. Okay. I want to jump back right quick to the children. If you have children, one of the things you don't want to do is you do not want to leave your children. You cannot do that. Hear me clearly. Do not leave and then leave the children in the hands of the abuser. Number one, you are responsible for their safety. Okay. And if you do that, then depending on how this thing works out legally, the narcissist can actually use that decision that you made to leave your children in the hands of the narcissist. That could be used against you should you go to court and get into some type of custody battle. Okay, that decision would be a bad decision, and the narcissist is going to use that totally against you. And again, I'm telling you, kids, the children, are always used as tools and pawns in a narcissist. They will always use that. Okay, the only time you would do that is if there was you had a real good reason to do so. Okay, rarely will a judge give children to or award children to a parent that abandons their children. So in this case, you cannot do that. Also, in your planning, you want to plan. If you haven't already, you want to plan to begin to discuss things with a counselor. Okay, you can look in the phone book under the yellow pages for that. You can go under abuse, titles of abuse, battering, child abuse, marriage and family counseling, social services, therapy, social work, whatever it may be, because you're going to need some type of therapy. Okay, and you need to go through deliverance. I mean, there's a complete process that needs to take place. Okay. Okay. So we'll go on a little bit more, just for a few more minutes, but so you're getting your plan together. Okay. Again, plan. I was going to say this as well. I forgot this. Money. Okay. You want to begin to, like I said, get some money together. But if there's money in a checking account or savings account and you have access to that, okay, as the spouse, then what I would recommend is that you go and withdraw up to not more than 50% of that. So if there's $1,000 in the bank, you need to take at least $500. If there's $10,000 in savings, you need to take $5,000. Okay, because this isn't a marriage relationship. I'm talking about a marriage relationship. I'm not talking about boyfriend, girlfriend. Y'all are shacking, you kicking it, whatever it may be. I'm not talking about that. Okay, I'm talking about where there is a covenant. There is a legal marriage certificate, okay, that has been issued, and your relationship is viewed by the federal government or the state government as being legit. then yes, go get that, okay? Because once you're gone, all of that information, PIN numbers, passcodes, access, however, whatever, security measures are there to allow you access, that's going to be stripped. The narc is going to strip all that, okay? So you want to go ahead and take that, okay? And have that available to you, okay? I do want to say this again, and this goes back to my first points of if you are being physically abused or if you are being threatened with physical abuse or violence, that again, you must leave. It's the one strike rule, okay? If your partner has grabbed you, got up in your face and yelled at you very harshly, very mean, punched holes in walls, kicked the dog, started throwing things, acting like a deranged person, okay, or threatened your life, threatened to break bones, threatened to punch you out, you need to leave, okay? You need to leave. No exceptions. You cannot, don't start talking to friends and you just need to love him and you just need to pray for him. I'm talking in this video about extreme cases. We're talking about protecting your life. We'll get to your sanity and your emotional deliverance later. Right now, you need to get out of harm's way. Also, and I know I'm kind of up and around here, but as you're planning, okay, begin to reach out to new people, okay, new friends, okay. Do that because you may need some people to help you out here and there. Be very, very careful of old friends, especially friends that you both share, okay? Because again, that may turn against you. You want to be very, very careful, okay, in everything you do. You do not want to, play your hand, okay? I know that, a lot of this, what we just talked about today, is something that, there's so many variables to this thing. But again, I want to be very clear, okay, because there's too many women, as well as we're seeing men now, being abused physically, being threatened physically, violent tempers, temper tantrums, pulling out weapons, flashing knives, taking bats and holding them up. No, look at me. No. Don't sit there and stay in that situation and think that somehow, some way, that's going to go away. At the first sign of it, you have to protect you have to protect your children, and you need to leave. Yes, things may work out. Yes, he or she, they may go through counseling, they may go through deliverance, they may be set free, and things can be restored. I understand that. We've seen that happen to people, okay? So I know you love him or her. I know that there's this attachment, but you need to, number one, protect yourself and protect your children. Then what we'll do is we'll go into the, post departure, when you leave, what you need. And one of the things, of course, we already mentioned is that you need to find some counseling and other things, okay? So that's it for today. Again, I don't want to give you guys too much. Let's go through this part. We'll do a part 2 to this and talk about some other things. I really think you'll be blessed by it. But right now, you have enough to get you started with creating a plan, okay? Create a plan, okay? If you can't remember what we just talked about, rewind, okay? Check it out. Get your keys, get a set of keys, get money, begin to put all your stuff together, begin to jot down a plan. Be careful where you put that piece of paper. You may have to do it mentally, okay? Because you do not want, remember, the narcissist will go through your personal stuff. The narcissist is watching for patterns, okay? And the narcissist will explode if he or she finds out that you're leaving, because remember, they have a severe complex inside. they have a tremendous amount of pain, and they have probably been abandoned somewhere in their life, early in their childhood, and now have created this pseudo personality that they're all this in a bag of chips. And if they sense that you're departing them, they will manifest and explode. So you don't want to show that. So, okay, that's it for today. Hey, again, thank you guys for watching this. Let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. All right, bye-bye.